Okay, so before I explain to you about this audio recorder, I also want to recognize that not everybody knows what the Maywood Education Fair is because you are not a MSHE student. So for people that do not know what the Maywood Education Fair is, it is a fair that started about 8 years ago, and it is now planned, developed, and implemented um, in collaboration with the City of Maywood and our Masters of Science in Higher Ed students. And so that is how the Maywood Education Fair started. This is an add on to the Education Fair. And while it is an add on to the Maywood Education Fair, that's not necessarily, not all students participating in this are necessarily from the city of Maywood. Many of them come from the surrounding cities, such as Bell, Cudahy, Vernon, Huntington Park. And so just know that's important to note. It's also important to note that this is in Southeast Los Angeles, and so in terms of context, the schools that these students attend are primarily in LA Unified School District. Maywood is about one to once 1 mile by 1 mile one by 1 mile city, so it's a relatively small city, and so a lot of the surrounding cities kind of all merge together, and that is how it's been historically. Historically, these communities are also largely Latino. A lot of folks who live under the poverty line. However, there's also a lot of activism in this community. There's also a lot of resilience, and they exhibit those behaviors. And so, while they may not have certain resources, they're very rich in terms of culture and in their cultural wealth that they bring. And so now I'll talk to you a little bit about the audio recorder and how it works. Like I said, everybody will have an audio recorder. There'll also be batteries in there. So right now I'll show you how you can tell if the battery's going out, and so you can replace the batteries. This is an audio recorder. You should place this somewhere either in middle of the conversation, like in middle of, sorry, not the middle of the conversation, in middle of you and the participant, somewhere that's central, that will hear everybody's voices. And you want to be mindful of that. And so if people aren't saying things loud enough, it's okay to say, hey, can you just speak up a little bit so that our audio recorder can grasp that. And if people have some hesitation about turning on the audio recorder, please assure them that it is because the only reason that we are turning this on is so that when we come back to the office and we do our analyses, that we're truly honoring what it is that they're saying versus what we can just write down when we're taking notes. And so that's the reason for the audio recorder. Make sure that participants, before you turn it on, again, verbally give you consent as well as the written consent, and that you tell participants that if they would like to say something off the record, that you can pause the recorder and you can turn it back on once they've said whatever they needed to say off of the record, I guess. So for all of them, all of them you'll get, they'll be Sony brand audio recorder. On the side, they have a button that says hold and or power off. And so in order to turn this on, you actually, and it doesn't seem like obvious, you would actually take it off hold. When you take it off hold, this kind of digital um, screen will appear. Here, if you notice, it'll tell you, oops, here you'll notice that that's how much is left for the battery in terms of battery. This, like about half of it is fine. It'll probably last you about 45 minutes. But if it's anything less than that, just switch them out. So this would be fine for use, but if it's anything less than that, just switch them out just in case, because you don't want the recorder to die on you in middle of the interview, and then you'll have to stop it, and then it kind of messes up the flow of it all. So just be aware of that. I should give you all that they're fully charged. They should all be fully charged, but if for some reason they're not, feel free to switch them out with the extra batteries in your bag. So all you will simply do is press record, and people will talk, and the recorder, when it is on, it will have a red light. And so if you're ever unsure of whether or not it's recording, it'll have a red light, and then the time will start. Once you're done with it, you're going to press the stop button. Once you press the stop button, it's going to play back to you. And people will talk, and the recorder, when it is on, it will have a red light. And so if you're ever unsure of whether or not it's recording, it'll have a red light. You just press stop to stop it. Okay? If you want to continue to record after you have like pressed stop, what you will do is you actually you can actually move folders to make sure that you do not record over it. So what you will do is you just press this button right here and it changes the folder. So you see it changes it. There's different folders in here. See? I think D. So just make sure that they're in different folders so you don't accidentally record. And once you have moved it, then you can press record again. Okay? For people that are doing interviews and using the same recorder twice, it's important that you record your interviews in 2 different folders so you don't accidentally record over it, because these audio recorders will record over something. When you get the audio recorder to be completely empty, so it is fine to move it from like A to B, because that will be the only thing in the system. Okay? And then all you simply do is then to turn it off is press hold again, and it will turn off, and it's off. And that's it. And you put this back in, and that's all that you'll need.